Hello, this is Bill Cloudsy. Welcome to a modern cube. I like to call this the mid-range cube because, as opposed to the powerful cubes of Vintage and Legacy, you tend not to get the combos that let you win instantly, so you really just want to get advantage early and keep it. But there are some combos that exist and are quite powerful if you can get them, like the Pestermite Kiki Jiki combo. And as far as I can tell, everything that's legal in this cube is, or you'll only find cards in this cube legal in modern, the format. So that's basically the stipulation here, and we won't find things like Splinter Twin. Anyway, Planeswalkers are good, counter magic is good, and cheap stuff is what we want to prioritize. So I could take Pestermite here because that is one of the better combos if you can get the fixing and support for it. Maybe Karn would be a bit better of a thing, but I'm just going to grab this Pestermite. And of note, this is a single elimination draft, so we are playing on the table with these 7 people and trying to go 3-0 here. So Ashrakin, Swing Low, Winters, Jester, Jabs, and Shadow Vanguard. Who'd I miss? Wakanako. Repeal. Okay, so we did take Pestermite here. We have Dasa, which can do these enter the battlefield things, but that's kind of useless with Pestermite on your own end step. Titiova, definitely a strong one. And what else? Aggro decks can be quite powerful if you get a good version, so Legion's Landing, good in that deck. Rankle, strong. Beanstalk Giant's a funny one to see, kind of expensive for what it does. Repeal, also pretty good, but let's grab Titiova here. I think you can definitely get a lot with this, especially if you find some fetch lands or something that let you get a couple landfall triggers. Is it Signet? That's a really good one here. If we're going to do the Pestermite thing, the Signets are some of the most powerful cards in this cube because these are good even in Vintage Cube. Essence Scatter, another good one, but doesn't counter everything you'd want it to. Negate might even be more important since that'll get the Planeswalkers. But is it Signet? Yeah, I'm happy to get that. Even though it's not in green, it does help us with the Kiki Jiki combo if that's what we can get. All right, Jace and Remand. Not actually sure which one of these is better, but it is hard to get your hands on the 2-mana counterspells, so I'm definitely tempted by the Remand here. But if we are going to go the combo direction, Jace is a cheap looter that helps us recast whatever we might want to. So I think that makes it good enough here that I'm just going to grab Jace. Electrolyze. Very nice. People are getting started early with small creatures, and Electrolyze punishes those as well as draw some cards. So I'm happy to get that and go into an Izzet deck if possible. Missing out on Prime Speaker, which I guess is not all that important. Birthing Pod style card. Gadwick. Definitely an interesting one, but we'll go with Electrolyze here. Progenitor Mimic. Now this is your upkeep. You get to keep making copies of whatever it is, so a real win condition in any format. And if you can protect it, it's quite good here. You don't want to copy a legendary creature? Right, so it will keep making copies of some non-legendary creature. Anyway, Pestermite copies I guess would be good, but really it's just the best creature on the battlefield. And even if it's a pretty lame creature, it making copies of itself every turn becomes really good. So I'm going to grab that here, and then maybe we'll be in some Teamer deck. Sulfur Falls. I like that a little bit here. It's not amazing, but because we're going to have a lot of blue, it's much easier to splash red off of something like this. and then still be able to play our double blue cards. And then there's Phyrexian Metamorph. We could be some kind of weird clone deck, and yeah, for 3 mana you copy the best thing on the battlefield. Yeah, let's grab that. Pretty good if your opponent's trying to cheat on something. Alright, Phantasmal Image, similar. And then Selesnya Signet, which doesn't necessarily help us, although it does get us to Tiova and Mimic earlier. But let's grab the image here. Wow, Karn Wheels. And then Prismatic Vista. Get any basic. So if we put 1 forest, 1 mountain in the deck, this is really good for us. Karn, also really good. But the lands are going to be more important here if we're not monocolored. Repeal comes back too. That's good news. Kind of the best blue card that was left in that pack. And Terastodon, not something I'm a huge fan of. Honor of the Pure, one of the better cards for a mono-white aggro deck. Just so efficient at what it does. And then Harbinger, fine. There might even be some Devotion payoff where Harbinger gets even better. When this enters, you may return target tapped creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand. So that's a pretty good one with, I don't know, Thassa, which could flicker it at the end step. Also pretty good with Progenitor Mimic. Gadwick's back, and then Colonnade. You know, I'll take Gadwick here. Another pretty good one in a Devotion deck. And if we have a bunch of blue instants, pretty good for tempo as well, being able to tap your opponent's creatures. Or non-land permanents. Interesting. Usually that's going to be creatures, but I guess some artifacts could benefit or get tapped down. Alright, so we missed out on a lot of that counter magic, and we didn't really find the red we'd need to win the game. Tempest Djinn. Tempest Djinn could be good, since we are pretty heavy blue. It's not really a Devotion payoff, but it definitely adds to your Devotion and can hit quite hard pretty early, so maybe that's worth grabbing here. And then we just have clones for it. And hopefully we can find some Devotion payoff. I don't know exactly what they are, but we missed one Thassa God. Anything else great here that I'm missing out on? Not really. We're not going to go into Nicol Bolas. Gilded Lotus. Gilded Lotus definitely powerful if we can cheat it into play, but I think as blue as we are, we want more of this. Oh, I was thinking about Master of Waves. They put this in a cube. I think they took this out a lot of the older cubes for one reason or another. But it's here. And there's also Keranos, which is another Devotion kind of payoff. But I think if we're taking clones and cards like Gadwick and Tempest Djinn, then Master of Waves becomes so much better. And it really becomes a Devotion deck. Oh, Saheeli Rai. There's a combo card. It doesn't combo specifically with, or go infinite, rather, with Pestermite. But there are some cards it goes infinite with. And scrying 1 and dealing 1 damage to an opponent is pretty good. Let's see. Make a token, exile at the beginning of the next end step. So that can definitely be good with Master of Waves and Tempest Djinn, just to get in a ton of extra damage. That's a fun one. 2 Signets in the pack. And if they were green-blue, I'd be really tempted by it, but Saheeli's good enough here. Let's just do that one. Nightveil Spectre, another heavy blue Devotion card here. And Serum Visions, which I kind of want. Let's see, Nightveil Spectre, another pretty good one to copy. And then Serum Visions, just as something to do early. Yeah, that's probably too important here. I'm going to grab Serum Visions. At this point, not so worried about getting enough playables. Ooh, Rattleclaw Mystic. That ramps a lot the turn you can flip it, and you don't actually need any green in your deck to use it. So that's nice. And then Nature's Claim can be good. Spire Bluff Canal, probably strong for a deck like this. Yeah, so it's between those two. Let's see, Rattleclaw adds all the colors we want, but it's a bit slow. Whereas Spirebluff Canal probably helps us out enough that I want to take it here. Yeah, let's grab that. What now? Niv Mizzet Reborn? We might be able to add some colors, but maybe not all 5. Then Terramander as a decent devotion card. Lands that I'm not interested in. And finally, Blink of an Eye. Bounce a non-land permanent to its owner's hand. So you can even get your own stuff back to your hand and then kick it to draw a card, which is strong. That could be a good one here. Oh gosh, Progenitor Mimic on Master of Waves? That's the way to go. Let's grab Terramander. I do want to make this devotion thing a real thing. Sower of Temptation? Yeah? Disallow. Finally, we get some counter magic in here. We don't have much to fetch with Wooded Foothills. It would help get a couple of the lands we need, but since it doesn't get blue, I'm a little less excited about it. Coalition Relic, that's a really good one. And that might be worth taking here, given that we have some color requirements and we can use the extra mana with Progenitor Mimic and so forth. So I'll grab Coalition Relic. That's a nice one to get set up with early. Wow, Gilded Lotus is back, and Hinterland Harbor is here. I think we have to take Hinterland Harbor. We're going to have a lot of islands, and it shouldn't slow us down too much, but it does unlock green for us in the mid or late game, so let's grab that. Gilded Lotus, yeah. Coalition Relic should do enough of what we want. Jace, that's a nice one. Probably we can't use Find, and Sphinx's Revelation is a little bit off color for us, so yeah, Jace is going to draw a lot of cards, and importantly, add some devotion. Alright, Dimir Signet and Azorius Signet. Just as blue colorless lands, these are pretty good. And they both come back, so that's kind of crazy. Let's grab which one's more likely. I think we want Dimir Signet in case we open something like Ashiok, if that's still in the cube. Let's see, artifacts and or creatures to their owner's hand and then cast something. Yeah, I could see that being okay. Seachrome Coast, not really the color we want, but so far so good. Oh, we even have Polluted Delta, so that was another reason to take Dimir Signet over Azorius, because it'll be much easier to splash some black card. Speak of the devil, here is Ashiok. I wonder if that's the pick. It's definitely one of the self-contained combos in this format. Yeah, we have to take that. We have plenty of fixing at this point. Polluted Delta, Prismatic Vista, Dimir Signet, and some other stuff. So we're really like a main blue deck with splashing potential everywhere. And the next best card is really not that great for us. I guess Force of Negation is quite good, so that might be worth considering. But Ashiok really just wins on its own. And in the mid-range cube, the 3-mana Planeswalker is the real deal. Alright, Steam Vents, so they do have these fetchable lands. And I'm happy to see a few there. We can get that with Polluted Delta, so black, blue, and red off of the Delta. Then there's Sleight of Hand, which could be good, but the lands are so important here. Can't imagine taking anything but the Steam Vents. Alright, Scarab God, Emry, which is not what a deck like this wants. Flooded Strand, which at this point doesn't get black, but is still pretty good. And Thought Scour. Mill someone and draw a card, a nice little cantrip. And the Scarab God. I suppose that does pretty well at bringing back Master of Waves, if that's our main plan. Yeah, I suppose we can take Scarab God. Oh, another Ashiok. Wonderful. Wonderful for us, not so much for our opponents. Well, maybe we'll get rid of red. Maybe we just don't need red. Saheeli doesn't do all that much, and Electrolyze isn't worth it on its own. Baral. Yeah, let's grab the new Ashiok. That's fun enough. I think Sheldock Isle is also a good option here, but that's too much fun. Oh no, Teferi even? What else? What else is here? Venser and Tamio. All quite good. Let's grab Tamio. Teferi's a little too far off color and probably not that much better than Tamio. And I just like Tamio better. 3 mana, Teferi ruined it for everyone. Alright, Mana Confluence. We're not in that many colors, are we? It's probably still pretty good here. Maybe Orzhov Signet is worth it. Because at this point we have so many 5 mana cards. And it does add black for Ashiok. Let's see. Yeah, let's grab some more Signets. I think ramping up on turn 2 is a good plan given how much power we have. And then Gruul Signet. I like that one a lot here. Maybe it's not the perfect card for us, but it looks pretty good now that we have green and red. Condescend. Oh yes, finally. Get some good counter magic going. Really reliable, and you always get to scry 2 with it. Finally, Riftwing Cloudskate. That should round out our deck. Something to get going early, so we have a few Signets, and then we can hold up counter magic or get some of this stuff going. Can definitely get behind this deck. So no white. Chalice, the Signets are going to be better, unless there was a truly off-color Signet, which there isn't. I guess there couldn't be if we're in 4 colors. One dream is to get up to 4 mana, in which case this might be better, but our mana requirements are too strong, so maybe just take Night of Autumn, because that'd be good against us. Sheldock Isle comes back. No way. Maybe we cut blue hard enough that no one is interested in that stuff. But we have some pretty good stuff to hide away with this. 5 mana Planeswalkers and the like. And, wow, Teferi comes back. That's a bit crazy, I think. I'm just going to take Vizier at this point. That's really insane. Yeah, let's just not play any white. I think we would have to play a Plains, and that's a real cost in this deck. Maybe Delver? I mean, it does have some devotion. But it might be one of the earlier cards we cut. We'll have to count the instants and sorceries. I don't think we have the critical mass needed for Delver. You really have to build your whole deck around that. So we'll cut white. And we'll cut the unlikely red. Grudge is definitely possible. War Boss is possible. Grey Merchant, not so much. Not the right devotion payoff. So, how many cards do we need to cut? 6. Or maybe 5. The Signets can kind of count as land, but you really need to make sure you get the first 2 land for them to be playable. Expertise, not a huge fan of that. We have some cards we can cast with it, but not a million. Saheeli, we could cut red. That was another option. So I think yeah, we don't really need Saheeli. We have enough clones without it. Condescend is good. Repeal might not be as good. Might not be as reliable if players don't have as many cheap things to go after. And Pestermite might not be as good either. So Cloudskate can be an early play. Titiova, if we're going to play Progenitor Mimic, I think Titiova makes sense. Did I cut enough yet? Let's see. Gadwick could be a cut because we don't have that many instant blue cards to play, and it is legendary, so it's not a great clone target, whereas Pestermite is better. Master of Waves, Sower even. Clone that one. So we want to avoid legendary creatures with all of these clones. How many clones do we have? Enough. Let's see, 3. And then Saheeli was kind of a clone. well, it's not a million clones, but it's enough. And then Scarab God kind of counts, and Progenitor Mimic. So we have about 5 clones, give or take. The last option we have here is to cut something like Orzhov's Signet, or maybe Izzet Signet, or Gruul Signet. Dimir definitely stays in. If we're not doing any red, we really don't need Gruul. And then, maybe we can cut Izzet Signet and then have 1 black Signet, 1 green Signet, and 1 blue black Signet to help ramp up, and then play mostly islands. That looks good to me. And that's 16 plus 3 Signets, plus a Serum Visions, and a Coalition Relic. So if that doesn't get it done, well, that's too bad. So we are looking at 20 blue cards, 3 black, and 2 green. Let's see what is suggested here. We'll start with 1 of each of these and then see how the lands help us. So Delta can come in for island. We don't need these blue ones. Shelldock for island. And Hinterland Harbor for island. Is that enough black source for the deck? Because we have 2 black signets. That's 6 black sources, and it is 6 green sources, or 7 even. So maybe 1 more black to get those early Ashioks going. And the only question then is, do we have enough blue early? And we should. And that's 13 blue plus 1 Signet. So that should definitely be enough. And if this extra swamp hurts us, then we'll know. We'll know it was a bad idea. Definitely options here. We could always put red back in, especially if our opponents are playing a lot of artifacts. The Ancient Grudge is a really nice option, and we have green to cast both sides of it. Missing out on Saheeli, definitely worth playing Ashiok over Saheeli, so looks like a strong deck. Let's get things in the appropriate bin here. Metamorph can come down on turn 3. Condescend is a Force Spike on turn 2. And yeah, hopefully we can get some stuff out and protect it with our limited counter magic. But more than that, we should be able to put a lot of pressure on our opponents with Tempest Djinn, the Flyers, and the other types of disruption we have. And we should also have the late game between Titova, Mimic, Scarab God, and all the Planeswalkers. So stay tuned. Round 1. On the draw, we do have some mechanics to catch up here. This is a good hand, as long as we don't get overrun too early. Just getting a Tamiyo down on turn 4 is pretty good. Yeah, nothing else to do here, nothing to copy. Blue-green, well, we'll see what disappeared from this table in blue. See if our stuff gets countered here. It'd be annoying, definitely, if the Coalition Relic got shut down, but if that comes out, that's good, and if it doesn't, I guess we have Tamiyo next turn. So disallow, yeah. We definitely passed some of this counter magic around the table, and there it is. All right, Rashmi. When you cast your first spell each turn, reveal some stuff. So we could copy that, or we could tap something down. So maybe tap down Rashmi, and then copy it next turn. Let's do Polluted Delta here. Done drawing all this land. Grab an island. Alright, so let's go Tamiyo and tap down Rashmi to keep ticking Tamiyo up while we have the resources. And hopefully draw an instant, because copying Rashmi would be our first spell and not really count itself. But oh, here we go. I think they're sitting on more counter magic, possibly. Tough. I could tap down Island here and go to second main. Begin combat doesn't do much. Alright, so let's go ahead and do Image, or we could do Cloudscape. Let's do Image. I'm thinking Remand is a possibility. And maybe just save Cloudscape for next turn, see what happens. Because I don't want to wait 3 turns for the Suspend. And it looks like we have some counter magic going on now. Alright, oh wow. Paying some stuff to dismember. Great, well we have to sacrifice, and that's their first spell, so let's see what they get. Lumbering Falls, what does that go into play? Ah, no, just to their hand. Everything they don't get to play, which is cheaper than the card they cast, they just draw it, so that's pretty strong. Alright, so Tamiyo taking a hit. But that's okay, because we can tap some stuff down or even steal it. Not bad. Yeah, so let's tap down Reflecting Pool here. Pass to the second main. And then steal Rashmi. Why not? They might just kill Sower, but if they can't kill Sower, then we're in good shape, and the first spell they cast is not going to draw them that spell again. Lumbering Falls could come at Tamiyo, but that's an expensive turn and it doesn't even kill Tamiyo, so we're in pretty good shape here, I would say. Yeah, they're spending their whole turn just to do this, and this only has hexproof while it's a creature, so we can potentially get him here, as it were. Quagmire. That is similar, and they do have Reflecting Pool to add the black they need, but maybe we can get all of this done. So, alright, land. See what we get off the Cloudscape, and then on their upkeep, we might tap down another land. So we cast this, trigger Rashmi, cast the Signet, not bad. Bounce a permanent. Preferably a permanent that comes into play tapped, right? Like Lumbering Falls. Yeah, let's do Lumbering Falls here. Tamiyo can start ticking up, so we'll keep the Quagmire tapped, or just keep Reflecting Pool tapped. And then on their upkeep, tap the island. Because this Quagmire is not going to be able to kill Tamiyo. Oh, how to do this. And this should also trigger our Rashmi. It's nice to have flash creatures. Nice. We have a lot of devotion. Not a ton, but certainly a lot. So any blue they want to use, they've got to use it now. They were lucky to get Disallow. I mean, they don't have that many blue sources. Maybe 3 out. Less than half of their lands. Yeah, they have a lot of cards in their hand, but all of our cards serve to limit their resources, which is a really powerful way to go. So they're like a Sultai deck, just like we are. Repeal. Right, there's nothing so cheap that makes Repeal amazing. And I don't think any of our other stuff is that good either. Let's see. Bounce lots of stuff, but it's sorcery, kind of expensive. Might as well just play some other stuff instead. Let's submit like this. Cool, another good hand. We've got everything we need, really. Don't need their upkeep, though. We've got more than we need. So turn 2, we're going to get this Signet to catch us up again. Nice, Lumbering Falls coming out. And that's not one that really pressures us early. Two options here. We go Signet or we go Suspend Cloudskate. And I think, not sure, but I think it's more important to suspend Cloudskate this turn. Signet gets us up to 4 mana next turn, which is like Relic. And we're going to do Relic next turn anyway, so why don't we suspend Cloudskate? The earlier that can come down and bounce Lumbering Falls or whatever other land, the better. And if they just hold up all their mana again here, maybe I just do nothing. Because next turn we could do Signet and Relic. And then cast Titiova and then play a land on the same turn. So what we could do is play Pestermite on their end step and then not run into the same counter magics that we ran into. Great, so they used up that turn and we'll tap down Lumbering Falls. See if they want to counter this, maybe not. They could actually give it hexproof if they had one more land up, but that achieves the same thing. So this thing comes off Suspend. Oh, Condescend. That might be a nice one to have up too. Well, anyway, let's go Signet and Relic. And that is a lot of good stuff. Potentially they hit back for more, but I'm more than happy taking 3 damage to use up their entire turn. Don't let me forget the charge counter on this. Oh boy, Thragtusk. Well, no condescending on that just yet. But it's kind of vanilla. Is this thing finally coming off? Yeah, so what we'll do is cast this, bounce Lumbering Falls. If we bounce Thragtusk, it's not it's not ideal for us. And then maybe try to race them here. So we'll add a blue. Nothing else really important there. And play Titiova. Play our land for turn. And then that is a Harbinger of Tides, which will be good next turn. So we get 4 damage in here. They get 5 in back on us. But we're gaining life from Titiova. We're going to be able to bounce maybe Thragtusk, although, again, we don't really want to do that. But we'll see what happens. Jace. Oh, no thank you. No thank you. Why don't we condescend that for 1? Wow, Modern's a powerful format. And then we get Ashiok. Oh, it's the wrong one. I guess this Ashiok is fine, but it is the wrong one. So we'll bottom Signet, top Ashiok. They attack for 5, maybe, but I think they realize they're losing that race. Always yield to that. We can add some blue. I should untap all this. Let's play our Swamp first, just to see what we get. Sower. Well, that is a good answer. That is a pretty good answer to all of this. So why don't we start with Sower? Give me that Thragtusk. And we can continue on here with Ashiok Plus. Well, they can hardly do anything about it. Alright, kind of a one-sided board here. Maybe they've got Upheaval next turn, which we still might be okay after. Because they'd have to, play their land. We'd end up with a 3/3 beast. Yeah. Mid-range gets it. We'll see you in the next match. We, in the single elimination cube, to pay for the entry, you need to win the first match, and then getting to the finals is really where the good prizes are, so see you there. Here we go, round 2, and on the play for a change, with 1 land and a 1-drop. and 2 signets. But we need to draw a land. 15 lands in the deck. A couple of them come into play tapped. This is a bit too risky, I think. A lot of good prospects if we get there, but Progenitor Mimic is still basically a mulligan. And Terramander is not that good on its own. So, sadly, give that one up. And this is better. This definitely gets something going. Though, we'll have to put back a card here. Might be Tamiyo, might be Pestermite, because we can skip Pestermite into Sower. So I think we keep this. And throw back Pestermite. Hurts me to do it. But Tamiyo is definitely a better kind of prospect for the turn 4 if we can get it. Uh-oh. Huh, maybe mistakes were made here. Mono red, hopefully they don't kill Gruul Signet this turn. And hopefully we can steal something with Sower to prevent some damage. More likely than not, they will just be able to kill Sower. Yeah, Carry Zev. Definitely a good one to steal here. And if they kill it, this doesn't have haste, so it does prevent a little bit of damage. And then, well, anyway, Tamiyo should come down and keep something tapped. But yeah, white-red, tons of removal, especially for small creatures. Let's see what we have here. Lightning Strike, Pia, Nalar. Okay, great. They are not going after our precious little things now. What is this? Target creature can't block. This isn't the one that sacrifices to kill stuff. So that's good. It's just a 2/2, so it's not even that threatening. I'm a little worried that Tamiyo is going to get hit for too much. But I think our best bet here is to... oh, I don't know. To keep their lands tapped. And maybe sit back on what we have to protect Tamiyo. Oh no, I should have attacked with Sower, because of course we're not blocking this Thopter. Definitely not. Ah, and they kill it anyway, so no big deal there. Tamiyo takes a couple hits, and we might want to use Tamiyo's minus here to draw 2, because our hand is awful, and they're going to kill it anyway. So why don't we draw 2 cards? Well, does that help? Potentially. Could do Dimir Signet to preserve as much blue as possible. Or we could just play Jace straight away. Let's do that. Let's play Jace here off of red. Have ourselves draw a card. Uh-oh. Well, that wasn't amazing. I could have fetched first, but that also doesn't seem great. Maybe I should fetch here, though. 1 less life, and every life point's going to count, so I think we can avoid that. Bit of a tough call. That first hand, not sure it would have worked out better, but we're not protecting our planeswalkers particularly well here. Koth, uh-oh. That's going to hit hard. And is one of these newly controlled? No, I think both of those were out last turn. That's 10. Are they going to go straight for us? They might, yeah, it's probably better if they split off Pia to finish Jace. Come on, top deck. What could we top deck? It would have to be... I don't even know if Ashiok would save us at this point. And Swamp certainly does not save us. So I'm going to give this up. We might not be dead on board, but... yeah, nothing could save us from 2 life. And we could be dead on board. All they need is 2 more damage to finish us. So about that, we need to interact with some small creatures, and that might mean Electrolyze. It might also mean Deafening Clarion, Kaya's Guile, and some other stuff. So, I do still like the green for Titiova. Maybe I don't like the Scarab God as much, and maybe this Ashiok is a bit too expensive. But we could add white pretty easily. Or red, rather, for... Oh, no, red and white for the Clarion. Yeah, maybe that's not worth it. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Well, never mind then. Let's play the same deck here. Repeal might be good, but we'll be on the play with hopefully a bit better of a hand. Red is scary. We're not super well set up for it, and this is not a great hand against it. Unfortunately, I think we have to mulligan this. That's a bit better. That's a bit better. That gets us going a little bit. Bottoming Tempest Djinn because we have no islands. So we get 1 island into Hinterland Harbor, into Signet. Keep this, put this back. Okay. Done. And hopefully they mulligan. Hopefully they have some 1 lander they're afraid to keep. Because the Sower, it buys you a little time, but it definitely doesn't do so well. Okay, they also went down to 6. I mean, that's a good sign. Condescend, we could cash that into Scry too. But really on the play, I want to get out some 5-drop Planeswalker on turn 4 and hope to protect it. Let's see, definitely want Island. And Harbor comes in untapped. And we don't have access to black yet, so I think we just want Orzhov Signet here instead of holding up Condescend, which will be better for something like Koth anyway, or to protect Sower for a turn. I'm sure they'll put down a threat this turn. Karizev. Walking Ballista. And this is very easy to remove a counter, so it's a hard one to steal, as it were, but it does sort of kill it to steal it here, so I think it's still worth it. Anyway, let's try to steal it. Grab it. Be nuts if they let us, of course. Yeah, they really don't want to do that. Now we have a 2/2 flyer in play, which is not the worst. And not much else going on, unfortunately. 3 mana. Seasoned Pyromancer. Discarding 2 pretty good ones, including a Phoenix, which escapes, and getting 2 elementals. Wow, pretty strong. Yeah, that is annoying. Well, let's do the Signet and hold back the Sower to block and hold up Condescend mana for Koth or whatever they drew off Pyromancer. Hopefully it just lands. Discard 2 cards, then draw 2 cards. Or they could escape Phoenix here. Chandra, definitely worth condescending that one. And they don't have any hidden mana around, so condescend for 1 is enough. And do we want any of this junk? Jace could be good eventually, but I don't think it packs enough punch now, so let's bottom that. Bottom the island. And suffer whatever attack they make. They probably just attack with Seasoned Pyromancer. And it'd be tempting to trade. Escape, exile 3 other cards. It's definitely tempting to trade, but maybe I hold back to protect a Planeswalker, for example. Oh no! Well, don't know that that's great for us. Let's see. Yeah, not great for us. Generally, it's good in this matchup, but we are out of stuff to do. And racing is probably not the right way. Again, this is 4 to escape. If they do that, we have Harbinger of Tides to flash in to bounce it back to their hand. Yeah, it looks like they're doing the Phoenix here. And I think it's worth trading off with Pyromancer now. Oh, perfect. Okay, so first things first. Bounce that Phoenix. Now block some elementals to keep my board up. And now we have Riftwing Cloudskate, which is okay, I guess. It's not amazing. We could bounce back one of our own things, like Sower. After combat? I can see that being decent. I can see that being decent. Because they kind of want to kill it anyway. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go ahead and attack with Sower and Harbinger. They can play a little Phoenix, which I'm happy to trade with. Hold on. Pay a bunch of rainbow mana for it and return the Sower. Hopefully we don't draw another 5-drop. Well, I guess hopefully we do draw a 5-drop, but if we don't, we should be able to do 2 things in a turn. Abbot of Carol Keep. Oh no, so they're going to lose Koth this turn. That's really good for us. That is really nice, unless they have some kind of ritual here, which is possible. Can be played until the end of this turn. Yeah, poor Abbot. Phoenix is coming down. And I should probably trade off with something here. So let's trade off with... Tough one. Let's trade off with the Pyromancer. Yes, that's a good draw here. So I can keep Relic and I can steal the Phoenix. And I really should not attack. Of course, they have a million cards left in their hand, and I don't have that many ways of drawing cards in this deck, unfortunately, so the mulligan hurts. Koth being gone is nice, though. And Abbot, I'll happily trade that with Harbinger. Oh, Master of Waves, that's our real answer if we can get it. Please, Master of Waves. Now they can exile Seasoned Pyromancer just to get 2 1/1s. Not so scary. Hazoret hurts. Oh gosh, Hazoret really hurts. Next turn it's almost guaranteed. Well, Pteramander. What do we have? 1 thing there, so this costs 7. Right? So maybe we do that now, because we have nothing else to do. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Get Pteramander as a 5/5, and probably it's just time to race them. Because what are we going to do? Chump Hazoret? I guess we can do that at any time. They could get 9 damage in here, discarding 2 cards, 4 damage to us. And did I miss any damage this game? Because it really seems to be a race. Anyway, if we can draw something like Tomio, we might really come out ahead here. Oh, Experimental Frenzy. So they're never going to let Hazoret attack. Well, they can still discard a card, right? Pia Nalar off the top. and a land off the top. All right. Yeah, Hazoret Experimental Frenzy. There's a combo for you. Yeah, not what we wanted. But it does add red for Phoenix. It does add red. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I mean, we're dead next turn. We're pretty dead next turn. 9, 10, 11. Maybe not. We force them to block with the Thopter, and then we hold back Sower to chump something. Is that possibly good enough? Is that possibly good enough here? Anyway, let's add 4. So we force them to chump with the Thopter. And then we hold back Sower. Phoenix will be tapped. And that doesn't get them low enough. Doesn't quite get them low enough. So we have to dodge something from them next turn. I mean, that's going to be 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. As long as they don't have any haste or anything like that. And they know they need to block with the Thopter, so I think we just have to attack with everybody. Or maybe not. So they block Phoenix of Ash. Yeah, I think we just have to attack with everybody. Because 2 hits from Terramander doesn't do it. And if we don't kill them next turn, we really have no chance. Because all they need to do is draw a card with Hazoret. So they blocked that one. I think that was wrong. Pump this up again. And pump it up again. So they're at 1. Close. And hold my land back just because. I don't think there's anything I could draw to change it. And hopefully we're not dead here. I don't think we're dead on board, right? They'd have to play 2 lands here to activate Hazoret twice. A haste creature would do it if it costs 2 or less and they have a land on top. So maybe they don't have it. Don't do it. Don't shock us or anything. Figure. Yeah, they're digging deeper. So don't shock us, please. But they need to save 6 mana here. Oh, there goes Relic. That doesn't do it on its own. Lightning Helix. Well, that saves them a little bit. It gains them some life, but now they need a way to kill Terramander. Forked Bolt. No, that's not it. It's not enough yet. Still not enough, because they can't attack with Hazoret. So they lose to Terramander in the air. Phew. Tough one. Close one. They do lose to Terramander in the air, so let me just do that, not show them our clone. Alright. Alright, so every point of damage mattered, and their block, they messed up their block because they could have prevented 3 more damage. And I guess we still had 2 or more damage this turn. 4 more damage. So we might have still won with the Metamorph, but it would have been close. We could have copied Phoenix, it has haste, and then pumped it. So, I don't know. Still, close one. Alright. Now, maybe we want Repeal. Maybe we do. I really want Deafening Clarion, but Repeal also shuts down It shuts down Hazaret by returning something to their hand. I guess that could come up. Unlikely. Yeah, alright, well, let's continue like this and hope we draw well. Because our sideboard isn't amazing against their deck. Gadwick might be okay. Ah, whatever. Oh no, awful. Yeah, this is another really bad one. Because we don't even get to do something turn 1. Yeah, let's mulligan. This is also really bad. But I think we have 2 turns to try to draw a land. And then Master of Waves can probably beat them. Wow, so awkward. That is so awkward. Let's keep it and throw back to Tiova. Yeah, that's so bad. Well, it has enough chance of doing okay if we draw the right stuff. So I think it's better than going down to 5. Maybe not. It's going to be a tough one, though. And I think we just lose if we don't draw land immediately, because look at this. 3 damage on turn 2. That's a start. Let's start with Jace here. They might try to kill it. If they don't, it will help us get our 3rd land. Unfortunately, we drew the wrong land. Yeah, that extra swamp punishes us here. I can't risk the Swift Spear, though they might just play another creature. They get Forked Bolt. Okay, they don't have the land, so that's good news. We can hold up Condescend. Yeah, let's do that. Let's maybe block Swiftspear and hold up Condescend, and then use Jace. Another prowess creature, great. Alright, so let's block here. Take the 4. Condescend whatever this is. So then we scry and loot. Banefire for 1. Which one do we want first, the scry or the loot? I think we want the loot first, because we're going to draw anyway. Discard maybe Tempest Djinn, unfortunately. Maybe Coalition Relic, because we're never going to have time for that. And then Condescend Banefire. And then Master of Waves, pretty good against this. Yeah, let's put Gruul Signet on the bottom and Island on top. Goodbye, Jace. Oh, wait, no, we countered that, right. Don't have to worry about that because we countered it. Now, I really want to get Master of Waves down with some actual devotion. So we could steal something of theirs, like Figure. Yeah, steal Figure, force them to put their removal on Jace, and then what does this thing need? 5 or more cards in the graveyard. No, don't kill my Sower. Stomp Sower. Sure. Why did they add all these cards? So they get this back, but it doesn't get to attack this turn. They get 5 damage in here. And I think I just have to roll with it. Let's see what we draw. Discard a card. Let's discard Cloudskate, unfortunately. Land. Can't do everything this turn. But I can flip Jace. Yeah, this is tough. Alright, well, let's go Master. And let's flip Jace, because that'll sort of help us here. Discard a card, discard the island at this point. Don't want to cast anything from my graveyard. We don't have anything except a counterspell. And we'll put some pressure on the figure, because that thing gets kind of annoying quickly. Alright, Master of Waves, you gotta do it for us. Don't let them kill us. Carry Zev, that's annoying. That is an annoying one, because they go really wide here. -9, yeah, that's not gonna do it. Tempest Djinn, I mean, that'd be good. I think we start with Serum Visions, though. Then we scry a bit. Vizier, there we go. Once we start copying Master, we're in such good shape. So let's put Sheldock on the bottom, Vizier on top. Wait, does this let us cast it for free? No, it doesn't. Oh, it's so close to being able to cast the clone this turn. Well, anyway, we can do it next turn, and this turn we can do Signet and Pestermite, which would tap down Carry Zev. And then we can do the same sort of deal on Figure of Destiny. So I think we wait until they go to combat. Because otherwise they might play like some hasty 3-drop or something crazy. Yeah, there's the third land. Maybe that's just going to be Bone Crusher. So let's go ahead and Pestermite down. Ooh, or better yet, First Strike Menace. No, I think we really want to tap down Carry Zev, because I can deal with a 4/3. Use Pestermite's ability. Yeah, tap that thing down. Now they have no good attacks again. We've got Jace. We've got a clone for Master. Probably not enough mana to clone and Tempest Djinn. Close. Very close, but not quite. Battle Display. Yeah, that doesn't matter here. That doesn't matter so much. It's a sorcery, yeah. No, it's an instant. The Battle Display? No, it's a sorcery. I'm mixing up all my stuff here. Yeah, Emperor, Shield Breaker, Tempest Djinn, whatever. Let's get that thing tapped down. Vizier to copy Master again. And now all of the elementals are bigger. And we only got 3 more, so this doesn't count as 1 devotion. Oh no, the mana cost is 3 or 2, but it doesn't keep the mana cost, just the converted mana cost. Anyway, pass it. I do want Pestermite against a haste flyer. Then Tempest Djinn might be able to take that on, but yeah, we're probably going to die pretty soon because they have a lot of burn in their deck. There is Rekindling Phoenix. Wonderful. Wonderful. Ashiok. Well, that's a good turn here. We can do another Serum Visions. We could keep this Kindling Phoenix low. Oh, this is awful. All right. 4/3. I think we need to cast Tempest Djinn and then put those on the Phoenix. We can start to pump Figure of Destiny. It only really becomes a boss at 6 mana. Flying and First Strike 8/8. Burst Lightning us. And then 3 more damage to us. Yeah, we didn't have infinite time. Exquisite Firecraft. We didn't have infinite time. We almost weaseled back into this, but they had enough reach to get us from that position. Let's see. Jace, yeah, I guess one of the problems was mana in our opening hands and having to mulligan hands with like one land and two signets. So I think with more card draw, we could have, with more of a lot of stuff, we could have done 17 lands, 2 or 3 signets, and more card draw to make sure we keep getting our action. Because this was a powerful board position, especially against red, but we didn't get it on turn 3. It's turn 9 or whatever, and they just had enough to keep going. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time. Until then, good luck in your drafts.